Had a request to show how to make high buildings, you know, like for Warhammer 40K and multi-story, basically is what I'm getting at. A lot of this stuff takes place sort of in the future in the, well, 40K obviously, in the, you know, ruined cities and stuff like that. So I'm going to do this on a one foot by 1 foot hardboard. That way, you know, other buildings, they can match all together and stuff. You can do some as roads, you can do some as buildings, you can do some as rubble piles. And if you do them all in 1 foot, then you can kind of stick them all together and change your table around as you play whenever you play. Okay, so we're going to make a multi-story one on this piece of hardboard. It's kind of stuff that's on the back of a TV or old radio. I think I paid about $11 for a 4x8 sheet. Okay, and nice stuff that goes to the building store. Okay. The other thing I'm going to use on this are these. I picked them up at the hardware store while I was getting the hardboard stuff. These are packing. They gave me a whole stack of these. I got about 600 of them now. But they're fluorescent tubes. You know, the 4-foot fluorescent tubes, fluorescent lighting. When they come to the hardware store and they're selling them individually, they come in a great big box. Okay, these are the packing for the tubes. They're, you can see they're kind of cool looking, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this up against my foam board and glue it onto my foam board at the bottom, put a little piece of foam on top, well, you'll see, eh? And then when you paint it with your goop and stuff, it'll come out like it's carved stone work at the bottom of the building, okay? Kind of cool stuff. Anyways, it's free. Go down to your hardware store and grab a whole bunch of these, see what you can do with them. Okay, this tall building that we're doing, this multi-story building, I'm going to use 1/2 inch styrospan foamular type foam board. The pink stuff is what I'm going to use, okay? I'm going to start with 1/2 inch and just build it up from there, and we'll probably make a 3 or a 4-story type building. 2 full floors type thingy, and you know, busted ones all the way up. You could use plywood if you wanted to. You'll have to use a coping saw then in order to, you know, cut your plywood and stuff. I don't know if you can get foam in your area. Anywhere here in North America, you should be able to get the stuff. I don't know about Europe or down in, you know, down under. If you have problems finding the foam, let me know, and I'll give you tips on how to use stuff that you guys have, okay? Alright, anyways, we're going to use a 1/2 inch foam, so go buy yourself a sheet of that 1/2 inch foam. It's probably about $6 for a 2-foot by 8-foot piece, okay? Okay, on your board here, you have to decide if you're going to be making more, if you're making a whole city, how you want to have your streets, your sidewalks and stuff like that. Sometimes what I'll do I'm just going to draw on this board in several spots, so bear with me, hopefully the lines won't get too confused, is if I'll have one of these as buildings and then one of these as streets, okay? So I'll have my street, you know, kind of like this wide, and that'll encompass sidewalk type area, like that, okay? Sometimes when I'm doing a building and that, I'll decide that, okay, this is going to be my sidewalks, and I'm just going to have, you know, the building in sort of this corner here, and then these are going to be kind of sidewalk type thing. That way when I put them together against a street, it'll kind of all kind of match out, and you can change it around. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, eh? You know, but anyways, try to give that some thought before you start building, okay? In this case here, we're going to kind of use this sort of method that this is going to be sidewalk, but we're probably going to have this kind of rubbly anyway, say. The reason why I'm doing this is just so I can show you how I do, you know, sidewalk type effects too, okay? Just before we start here, quickie note on scale. If you're trying to make this really realistic, okay, on a tall building, basically it's 10 feet per floor, okay? You've got 8 feet of room space, and then you've got a 2-foot space between floors for all your piping and duct work, okay, which makes 10 feet. In our scale, what's our guys, about an inch for 6 feet, something like that, you know? So if you had 2 inches, that's about as high as you want to make your floors. Somebody like me with a huge paw like this, hey, I can't get my hand in a 2-inch spot, okay? Like my hand, I can get, you know, past the first knuckles here on a 4-inch, okay? So it's not really true to scale, but it'll if you make your floors about 4 inches, that'll look okay. That'll look fine. Uh, yeah, if you try to make it realistic looking, it's just gonna be it's too hard to maneuver your troops around and stuff like that. Okay, so 4 inches per floor.